Okay, Lebanon, Oregon, and it is 5:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is the 14th.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna tell you like I tell everybody. Give me the long version of what's going on. You know the drill. Go.
Okay. My daughter is in family court. We talked about that last time. We were going to do the lawsuit last we talked to you federally.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we happened to come across a very extensive piece of material. She had it before. The attorneys didn't present it. It would take jurisdiction from the family court completely. So, we filed, I'll tell you what the letter says. It's a letter when my daughter was in family court filing for her restraining order, and she went to court over one of the restraining order hearings. And the judge decided to give custody to the dad temporary because without even a hearing for that, she just decided to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So she said my daughter was no longer in the state of Washington and she didn't have jurisdiction to do any more, and for Jake to go get a different judge and file a habeas. He never did. So the judge said there was nothing more she could do. However, they went ahead and they arrested my daughter in Texas, prosecuted her criminally in the state of Washington for what they clearly said happened in Texas. And then they violated that whole thing. Well then, okay, now she's still 2 years into this case, and they won't return her children. She gets them every other weekend, and the family court hearing isn't until May. Fast forward.
Are you going? Okay. All right. So, were y'all going in front of a judge or a hearing officer?
Well, apparently it was a judge. First it was a commissioner. Commissioner is the one that did all the damage.
I'm so surprised.
So here we are. Fast forward. Her case has been going nowhere. The husband doesn't have an attorney. Ricky doesn't have an attorney. And now we find this document, which, like I said, I knew that I gave her at some point 2 years ago to give to her attorney, a year and a half ago, and they didn't use it. It is a letter from the state of Washington CPS, DFs, whatever they're called, Family Children Services.
Uh-huh.
And it says, Ricky no longer resides in the state of Washington. I am moving her case to Oregon. This is 4 days after your hearing, 4 days after her hearing in family court over the restraining order when the judge gave custody to the dad.
So basically what you're getting at is he don't even live in Washington himself.
He does, but Ricky never did. She had moved 9 months prior to that. We were trying to tell the judge the only reason she filed in Washington on the restraining order, she thought she had to. She didn't know she could file in Oregon. She filed in Washington. The judge caused all this ruckus and lies and horrible things going on, things that weren't even true. They allowed Jake to continue. The father didn't want the children. Prior to this, he wasn't taking them for his parenting. So when Ricky wouldn't come back home, he decided, okay, now I'm going to go get the kids.
Okay, so
the judge started giving Jake all these favors. Well, we figured out he was friends with the cop that did the report. So somehow Jake's intertwined with all this other stuff. Anyways, regardless, this document states the jurisdiction went back to Oregon from their own state worker.
okay.
So
And you didn't refile it, or you didn't do it yourself since?
well, we just did. That's why I was calling you.
You just
We
did.
filed-
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We filed in family court to dismiss based on jurisdictional, that they don't have it. And we sent a copy of the letter.
Okay, so when you say you sending copies of the letter, how exactly are you submitting the letter?
We are certified now, and one to the court clerk, one to the judge, and one has to go to Jake.
Okay, so that's where your problem is. So no offense to you, but what I always tell people is when you send letters, it's only for loved ones. And
It's a motion. We did a motion in the court.
okay, so you did it via a motion and you attached it as an exhibit?
Exactly.
Okay, so you filed the motion and attached it as an exhibit, and you didn't go to court for that already? Or what did the judge say exactly?
just sent it in Friday. They received it today or yesterday, and we're waiting now. Just waiting.
Well, see, here's what you did this excellent. And what I always tell people is when you find wrong, that is your ass for your boot. You keep kicking it. You keep kicking it. It doesn't not mean nothing. It means somewhere in the past there was somebody that lied. There was manipulation. And between yourself and I, everything that I do from this point on is based on that document because, you know, our Constitution states that if there is one part of the process that's wrong, the entire process is thrown out. This is how individuals get, when they go to court and they had a burgundy car, but the ticket said it was red. You got to throw it out. You didn't do a Miranda rise when you got a warrant to break it. You got a warrant for 115 Fifth Street, but you live at 5 115th Street. It's those things. Everything got to be right. It's the same as another thing on how you present it.
Yes.
One thing you got to make sure you do, you have to, if anybody ever said that they didn't live or whatever, you have to submit along with that exhibit their copies of the court transcripts along with them saying, I don't, whatever, only for that to counter it.
Correct.
So
we've also sent in copies that they didn't serve her because she didn't reside where they said she did.
Beautiful.
So here's my other question. I had to give you that piece before I move on.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because she has the criminal, they got her on 2 enlarged misdemeanors for custodial interference. There was no service. They didn't serve her to appear. Then they got her on, first they said missing children. So they put her on that nationwide missing children's thing and went and got her. So there was no warrant. It was somebody else's probable cause when she did get back to Washington from Texas after. Anyways, so here we are. We're at the criminal part. They charge her. The judge is even trying to give her attorney a way out. The judge is saying, do you mean to tell me if I go to Oregon with my children, you're going to come and arrest me because I have my children and you're going to come and say that I can't go out of state? And my children are missing. The judge said many things to give the attorney a way out, that it wasn't lawful.
Uh-huh.
But the attorney wouldn't do it, so he gave it to the prosecutor. The prosecutor won. So
Do you have that transcripts?
yes, are those transcripts or a recording? It's the CD recording.
Well, same thing. So, okay, go ahead.
So we have that, and now, okay, so she ended up taking a plea deal on that. So now it says in her plea deal, if she tries to go back and fight this, that they can bring more charges and all this. You know how they do that. Well, here's my biggest.
Okay, I'm just curious. When you say fight this, what is the this that she can't fight?
The criminal case that they're saying if she comes back and tries to argue or tries to reopen the case, or do you remember what it said, Ricky, on your document? Something about if she tries to litigate this again, that they'll bring up more charges and dismiss the appeal or her plea deal and go back to the original, which is 5 years in prison.
Wow.
So she's afraid to do it. However, I'm like the Brady violation and the PUA violation queen. That's how I win cases. So I want to do that because if you have this document and it says they do not have jurisdiction that she moved to Oregon, everything is void from that point on.
Right.
They didn't put that in. They didn't even try to go get it. Their own state family court or family CPS says they don't have jurisdiction and that they moved the case to Oregon. So they missed this step. So I wanted to take that one document and file a Brady but she's afraid it will hurt her and they'll come back after her.
Well, you ever heard of the term unethical prosecution?
Absolutely.
All right, so when you want to punch somebody in the mouth, what you have to do is you have to help them understand, nope, this is not about me. This is about what you're doing. So if somebody says that if you come back to try to fight something that was wrong in the first place, I'm going to slam you, then that's the person you need to, that to me, that's my sights is on that dude. I got that dude in my crosshairs. That dude, I'm polishing my boot for that dude. That's who I want. I want to really push his theory to his unethical perspectives. I want to push it to the test. I want to see just how bad he is when he's on a questionable perspective of explain to me how, with this being said, because you can get a piece of evidence that clear you, but sometimes it's best to go all around the block with it before you use it to try to clear you. So instead of trying to use it to clear yourself, all these things that was done wrong, you say, well, does this normally happen when a person, I just want to file a lawsuit just for an answer. I'm not filing a lawsuit for nothing else. And then, of course, you file a lawsuit just for an answer, and then you take his answer, and then you can use that to build the case over here. So you say, I'm filing a lawsuit because I'm just curious. I got a question for you. Is it, can someone be, can someone that that's not in your jurisdiction, could you come after them if somebody come to you and say, this is what happened with their child, etc.? And then they'll say, well, they'll give a technical answer. They always do. Well, technically, jurisdictions have to be established and blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm glad you said that. Well, here's Exhibit A. Here's XYZ, and it says that they don't. So explain to me, how did they do that?
Okay.
And then you use that to then come back. And
so what,
yeah, go ahead.
would malicious prosecution be a part of this as well? I would say.
Of course.
Because it seems like
It jumped out at me when you said it.
they went straight to Texas to arrest her without a warrant.
Yeah, well.
And on a temporary custody order. There's no permanent.
Well, here's the deal. All the arresting officers, you go after them.
I don't know their names. We don't know their names.
Oh, you can find out their names. You can find out their names. That's.
We tried to FOIA. They won't give it.
You say that again.
We FOIA'd it and they won't give it.
Wow.
Same with my husband's case. My husband was arrested because of this case. He spent a year in federal prison, and they won't give us the body cameras off the marshals to show there was no warrant.
But not just that, there was no history that I was even in jail in Texas other than my mugshot.
Yeah,
But in the state of Washington, they don't have me as being picked up in Texas.
Well, I forgot what it is exactly, but when they do their thing, when they get their percentages of their money for every prisoner,
Incentives, they get a lot of money for.
yeah, you just got to find yours. We did it probably 25 years ago when well, not 25 years ago, about 16 years ago. It was 2008 or so when we did it, when we found all the information for Jersey. And my secretary at the time did all the legwork. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, good. So there's no such thing as there's not a trace. Your inmate number, something.
Yes.
It's never. I know what you're saying, but it's never no such thing as not a trace.
Well, we have a copy of her, her arrest picture and all that.
Right.
They can't deny it.
Well, it's just the arrest picture. It has those guys. They don't have their name. It doesn't have the.
Does it have your number on it for the jail? She's gonna look. It might have that. Plus the money we put on her books.
Ooh, there you go.
So remind me again. Do I start this? You think I should do the federal lawsuit and then go down the line to the criminal?
No, I would, me personally, see, when you're going after the big dogs, you got to get a little bit some little bitty pieces first. So that document that you got is your Bible right now, and you want to use that to ask some questions. You probably want to get go to the state and get the legal perspective of residency, so you can, when you draft up your paperwork, you can say, once a person, this is residency. According to these people, you didn't have that. You didn't see that. Pair up the residency rules with the court system, because when you drop all this, you don't want nobody to say, well, our residency rules is different, because hell, the lottery system got a different residency rules. Everything got a different residency rules. So what you want to start with is the definition of the word residency, and then I'm going after the individual that, like I said, I'm just, because not all lawsuits is money. If you no,
Absolutely. I don't. You know what I care about is that this stops and that they are held accountable.
right, and so you can do one little thing and get an answer that contradict what they did, and that's what you're trying to do. You want to build up your case to contradict all the action that was done, but a lot of people don't know how to do that. They just want to say, you did this, and sue, and think that everybody's going to come to court and say, oh, yeah, you're right, we're wrong. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. It's just filing a lawsuit, this, and then now you got enough pieces in your federal case to, I swear to God, when you pull up to that damn courthouse, you need an 18-wheeler, you got so much evidence.
Well, for instance, in my criminal case I was in, and I won my case with the Brady, I had one document.
Beautiful.
I won.
There you go. Wow.
But she's also got a temporary order. You can't go after somebody with a temporary order.
Right.
It doesn't. Washington cannot go into the state of Texas and violate her and say that this crime happened in Washington, but they arrest her in Texas.
Listen, it stinks to high hell. They know that it just sounds to me, everything just sounds wrong. To me, they know they was wrong, but it's always up to the person to sit back and say, that's okay. And then people like yourself saying, oh, hell no. And when you say, oh, hell no, I promise you'll get answers a lot easier than you think. When you start putting lawsuits and start naming defendants and co-defendants and say, well, why was this done? Well, they said that. Oh, well, why did you say that? That's what I learned. I learned that when you really need answers, you might want to file a lawsuit with a defendant and a co-defendant. And normally what happens with the defendant and the co-defendant, one says, well, they told you this. You say, I'm suing you because of that. And then you got this person there saying, well, how did you do this? Well, I was told by these people. And then once somebody tell on the other person, it authenticates your lawsuit. Your lawsuit is ironclad. So it's just rustling up everybody together and just saying.
I have a lot of documentation. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I have documentation from how they put you on the list to go nationwide for missing children. Well, that app that they used in Vancouver, Washington, the police have to assert that. So when they did that, I was talking to them. They were emailing me back and forth, saying that they took me off our car after they pulled us over once looking for the kids, realized the kids weren't with us, but then they said, oh, the children aren't missing now that it's, did they say, Ricky? Custodial interference. So that's not even lawful, and I have documentation. They are federally funded. They can't, if a federal court will not determine custody, how can they involve in a custody battle?
Yeah.
I'm just shocked.
Well,
And the dad was reimbursed federally from commercials.
Well, here's the deal. The reason why you're shocked is because, once again, it's wrong. And, and uh, the fact of the matter is, to me, you're doing all the right things. Um, the lawsuit that was filed, and honestly, when they get it, they're going to say, wow, this person won't give up. Because one thing I can tell you, I know this for a fact, when people are persistent as you are, the people that you're against, they're not gonna be standing in the end, because they never are. They always buckle. They're not gonna put their career on the line for a lie and oh yeah, they're not gonna do that. So I can't. I was gonna say when you think you'll hear back from them, but I can't. You don't even know when you'll hear back from them.
Well, so I think and you can give me your opinion. 14 days, I think, is legit to give this judge enough time to respond to that family motion to dismiss.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be 30 days. I think it's 14 is what the Washington
So you're gonna know when they got it. So that you're gonna see. Oh, say that again. You're gonna see that they got it, and then
we have a certified. Yeah.
Okay. And then once you see that they got it, I will wait a day or two and ask the clerk, has the motion been filed? Because a lot of times too, that you can send the courts a motion, and then you can just see if they filed it, and now they got something on the docket. Give it 2 days to see if in fact they got something on the docket.
Okay. Yeah, she told my daughter if we don't send one to the judge, particularly separate, that it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, there you go. So okay.
So we're sending one to the judge too. Bench copies.
And
So, yeah.
and so let me ask you a question. What are your counters if they say they don't accept it?
So I don't. That's kind of what I needed your help.
No, I get it.
What I want to do, but I don't want to hurt Ricky. But I do know this: if the family court's not going to agree and dismiss, criminal won't either, because they're side by side. So that's
okay. So yeah, no. So here's what I always tell people: when you got something that is really a game-changing piece of evidence, then the judge,
I call it the golden ticket.
there you go. The judge that signed off on that order is the one you're going after. That's the one you're going after now. So you file ethics violations against the judge. He violated his oath of office. He went forward with the hearing when in fact he ruled on something he had no jurisdiction over. So it's just, that's what it gets down to. It gets down to now you're saying this is the way it's got to go. And then,
so tell me, you're saying, okay, so we have a different judge now. We have a judge, but before it was the commissioner that did this. But the judge that's involved now continues to follow what the commissioner told her, she said.
Okay, so when it comes to a commissioner, this is a lesson I tell people: don't ever deal with commissioners. So what I would personally do, I would see who is the judge over that commissioner, because there's like one main judge over the commissioners.
Yeah.
And that judge is kind of like the one that takes the responsibility when they do wrong. And so then now I'm filing a motion to go in front of that judge, and I'm asking that judge, what is the wrong rate of your commissioners? What is the wrong rate? Because the reason why I tell individuals don't deal with commissioners is the very same thing that you're going through right now. They will collect a bunch of wrong information, and the judge thinks that I just filed a motion yesterday to be filed in court today with an individual, and it clearly stated that, Your Honor, I filed some information with you. You looked at the motion. However, when we was in court last week on the 9th, you looked at the motion and you didn't do anything. You didn't. I wanted alimony, and I submitted some documents of my medical issues where that currently got me unemployed. But yet you put in for $400 a month in child support. So exactly how am I going to pay this? And why didn't you look at my information? Because your staff obviously failed you because this motion was filed and you didn't know anything about it. So that's what happens. So that judge needs it's a whole bunch of. I probably would go that way first. I would write them a letter asking, what is find out who's the head family court judge in that court over the commissioners, and just ask them a question. What is the wrong rate? Because a lot of commissioners do wrong things and sign off on you. As a matter of fact, as I did in a video just recently, I personally think that's what the hearing officers and commissioners, I think that's what their job is. Their job is to just execute wrong and have you sitting there thinking that they're right. Yeah, that's.
So is it called the wrong rate? Is that what
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I know. It sounds official, don't it? You can say it though. You can say it. What is their wrong rate?
Who's going to tell you how to speak, right?
Right. And that's the beauty of. I tell people that's the beauty of representing yourself. That's the beauty of filing your own motion. You get to author it any way you want.
That's right.
So.
Well, so we'll move forward doing that. And then if I don't get a response, here, I always look at the end because we've been so wronged. And I'm trying really hard to be patient, but my patience is done. And with this, I think we'll do what you're saying. We'll go through that process. We'll wait 14 days for the judge to get an answer back to her on the dismissal. If we don't get that response, I think, now, when you say lawsuit, do we go federal or state?
No, okay, so no, you got to go state first because you don't know. So here's the deal. You got to find out, you got to collect a lot of the violations before you go federal. So,
okay.
So I personally, as soon as you get off the phone with me, I'll type the letter up now. You can be doing that. You can actually go online to the court. You normally can go online to any court and find out who's the over all the commissioners, wherever they call, guardian ad litem, whatever they call. You can find out who that person is, and you could just that person now. You can write a letter.
Okay.
A letter of inquiry.
Okay.
What is the wrong rate of your commissioners? From what I understand is they do all the work and then bring it to you for basically a signature. However, sometimes they are wrong. What is the percentage of the wrong? And anytime a state official, that's them. They all won. The state, the court, they all won. That piece of paper you got is her constituent. The courts are her constituents, right?
Yes.
Saying, hey, they don't live here. All right. So what would happen if they did live there and something happened? Then you're saying they don't live there and something happened to the child. So they cleared the jurisdiction by saying, hey, they don't live here. That's what they did.
I just got information. I typed it in.
Mm-hmm.
Administrative oversight. Clark County Superior Court presiding judge oversees the court administration and can address systematic and procedural issues involving commissioners. The border oversight concerns can also be raised with the Washington State Commission of Churches judicial conduct. And then it goes into the main court, tells you right where to go.
How about that?
Seek accountability, file a motion, document the misconduct, build a case, validity prosecution, appeal a post-conviction relief, report misconduct. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there you go. That's a pay dirt right there.
File a motion to vacate. That's what we just did. That was the first thing it says to do.
Mm-hmm.
Withholding exculpatory evidence.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Okay, so we just go right down the line.
How about that?
That is awesome. I'm so glad I asked you. That's why I needed your brain.
Mm-hmm.
I know we have a lot of things that we do, but you have a lot of insight where I'm always at, and I know.
Oh yeah, Hey, no, listen. I tell people we each one teach one. I don't know everything. You don't know everything, but collectively we know more. So
That's right.
that's it.
I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
You're a blessing. I
Thank
want you
you.
to know that.
Thank you.
you.
Yeah. All right. So listen. You just excuse me. So all you do is just you reach out to them, and you start an inquiry. You know, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Or should I say, let me tell you something?
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you where you're failing at personally.
Okay.
You're failing personally because you're doing this under you. You need to create an organization, and you need to go at this from the perspective of an organization. One of the things that I learned when I first started doing this is whenever I wrote to the courts, they said, oh, it's just a one-off. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And then I went back under the League of Dads, under the context of, I wrote to the Ethics Committee in Trenton, New Jersey, and said, as an organization, I am starting a probe against Judge Joseph Isabella. I am doing a research. I'm advertising for individuals that may have went in front of this judge for any wrongs and stuff. And then when I did that, that's when I got. It's like when I started the League of Dads, it was like, oh snap, whoa.
Now they're scared.
Yeah, when I did it under me, it was get out of here, you idiot. Oh man.
But they don't want to answer to just one. They're not afraid
Right.
of one person.
Right. So you gotta.
100%.
Right. So you gotta listen. You gotta just start an organization. And honestly, even if you don't have the name yet, I personally would halt doing this thing under me. I would start doing everything under an organization. That's just me.
Doesn't Christine have an organization? She's a friend of mine that's gone through this too. I think she has one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you go into organizations, they start clucking. I promise you.
I'm going to call her and ask her because she went through. They did the same thing they do to my daughter, only from Oregon to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky's is from Oregon. She was from Washington, or from Oregon.
No, her case is in Oregon.
What? Yes, but she lived in Washington at one point.
Yes, so it was backwards.
So it was backwards. But then they arrested her in Nevada.
Right.
So she did start an organization. She told us the other day.
There you go.
She's had it for 6 years.
Yep, there you go. And then you'll find people that when it's when it happened to, and that's just what it gets down to. You know, you're not going this hard. It's not an individual thing. You're actually it's called advocating, and that's what you're doing. You're advocating. So you're not collecting all this evidence. Like, what are you going to do with it once you use it? Sell it. Start an organization.
Absolutely.
You know, there are people that this happened to, and you could just, hey, listen, if this happened to you, and that's the fear. I want them to be scared. You know, I believe that these people just do you go to work, kiss their spouse. Oh, see you tonight, honey.
Yeah,
Go to work and be villains. Go to work and be devils. Go to work and just it's my job to do. No, it ain't your job to destroy people like you are, and then go home and you got to go home and say,
they sleep at night.
yeah, exactly. You want them to go home and say, I think we're gonna have a bad year this year, darling. Why? I fucked up. Yeah, you did. So that's what I feel.
I do too. No, I'm 100% with that. And so, okay, I want to make this clear because I'm trying really hard to keep what you're telling me in line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so we'll do this. I'm going to talk to Christine first and see if she has that, because if she has an organization, I'll use that. And then we'll start processing these steps. Then the next step, you say I need to go to state court before I go federal. Yeah. You want to collect evidence. So what you see? The thing is, when you want to move forward, you can't move forward with assumptions and your feelings. So you have to ask them. Say, hey, listen, how does somebody do this and y'all don't have jurisdiction? And then they say, well, blah 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 blah, and their answer will
you'll see contradictories in what they did and that answer. It's kind of like that letter that you got now is a contradictory. They say they don't live there, but they saying that they do. So you gotta, that's what it is. So you gotta, what I'm saying is on a state level is, that's why I said right after that, well, you gotta find out who is the head judge and then you gotta go to them. You gotta start with that person.
Okay.
Start with that person, wrong, and then say, hey, listen, what's the wrong rate? Okay. You had a hearing officer, and then you can even start asking them, how are they exempt from immunity? No, they're not. Blah 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 blah. Okay, now you could go after. I'm gonna sue this person. This and all that. Now you're bringing up some things. You start with this person. You lied. This lie grew into a big tree of bullshit, and that's what it gets down to. And now, by the time it's time for you to go back and say, oh yeah, and by the way, you told me not to fight this or else. How you like me now? Now they're saying, oh, well, we ready to throw our hands up. So that's what it gets down to. It's like you're using these little people as pawns, like on a chessboard. They're just pawns for the big picture. So that's what it gets down to.
I have another piece of evidence. I'm wondering if between, I have a lot, but the one thing I had that they accidentally sent my daughter when she was one of her attorneys is the attorney talking to the prosecutor in the criminal side. And they specifically had a conversation that she was never served. There's no service. For the judge to put contempt on her in family court, they have to serve her personally.
Okay, so check this out. So you ask a question with one thing and then wait a week and then ask another question on something else. Don't put all that stuff together.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Then you're giving them too much and they can use it. They play games.
Yeah.
But I think that's great because they're not going to, when you give them a second question, they're going to go, oh shit.
There you go.
How much more does she have?
There you go.
Right?
So, exactly. So you do things one at a time.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad I called you. I was really stressed, and I didn't want to move forward with doing the family thing because she's been denied so many times. But every time she files anything, there's such bias, they will not agree to anything, even an emergency order for her kids to be moved back to her care because the dad was abusing. They will not. She had video. They won't do anything.
She won't do. So, she has video of what?
Of her kids. Her 12-year-old is. The dad is allowing the 12-year-old. He's taking pot from his dad. He's selling it at the front door to his friends from school. He is. He's got his dad.
Hold on. All right. So let me tell you why you got that video. If you got that video and
we do.
that okay. So when you have a video,
yes, they wouldn't do anything.
Well, of course, because you're trying to resolve a legal issue like that in family court. Like I tell people, there's some information family court is the last person they gonna know. So you start mother organizations, you do post the video, you make it go viral. It's just simple as that. Like I'm not gonna sit here and have something that's gonna. I'm not giving somebody disclosure. Closure. That ain't the word I mean.
Yeah, well, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm gonna say. I'm saying to the whatchamacallit, hey judge, this is what you did. You did wrong. But guess what? Come next month on the 3rd, the video is gonna be released. But I'm sure by then you're gonna pull this guy back in court and give custody back to my daughter. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Because the kids, there's a lot. Carter, her 12-year-old, also went to school to a after-school program, and the dad wasn't there, and he got robbed. It was an after-school event, and he was robbed outside by a gunpoint from another kid.
Wow.
Nothing's being done, and he's leaving the 12-year-old with the 6-year-old while he goes to work in with his girlfriend. He's having sex in the other bedroom. The kids can hear him, and it's becoming the kid, and then the 12-year-old's now hurting the 6-year-old physically. It's just, we can't, it's been going on for 2 years. It's getting nowhere. He doesn't want the children.
Well, hold on. The thing is, it's just, like I said, I'm not holding back. Like something like that, I'm not holding it back. I'm punching you in the face with it. Like it's going. And now on the 6 o'clock news, warning: this video is disturbing. It shows a man. Yeah, that's the title. Shit.
Did you hear him, Ricky? He's saying take that video and start showing it. Get moms, organizations, the one
Right.
order.
Right. Right.
When you said,
Set it up, and then say to the judge, hey, by the way, Your Honor, since I'm such a bad parent, say, here's a link. Here's a link. You post it on YouTube, and you do that thing where you can do delayed release, and say, Your Honor, this video is going to be released next month. Let's say today is the 14th. This video is going to be released next month on the 15th. But here's what I got a feeling. I got a feeling before this video come out, you're going to right this wrong. And instead of treating a mom like trash, you want to be the hero to tell the news, oh no, I seen the video way before it was released, and I gave the kids to the mother. Yeah.
That's right. That's a good idea. I agree.
Hey, I ain't mean to pat myself on the back, but you damn right that's a good idea.
Listen, she's been beat down pretty bad. She's pretty scared of every.
No, I get it.
They're going to come after her.
Yeah, I'm only kidding. I'm mean to turn it into a joke, but what I'm simply saying is, it's like I tell people I was watching when like I tell people I'm the youngest of 4 boys, and my brothers used to beat me up, and so this is why people say to me, dang man, you kind of like, yo, you could be joking 1 minute, man, then you ready to tear somebody's head off the next minute. That's how I've been all my life. And I'm saying, yeah, but I just don't like to be messed with. Now that I'm older, I tell people, I'm self-diagnosed. I got a pick on me complex. I don't like people picking on me.
That's right.
So I don't. When you pick on me, I'm going to react in a way where I want you to leave me alone. Yep, I'm going to sound like a little kid when I say it. Leave me alone. But
You have a right to do that.
right.
And that's what's disgusting, is that they're taking away her voice. And these judges have put her in such fear because she wouldn't spend 30 days almost in jail, in 2 different jails. They took her on an airplane in front of public, put her in a straitjacket, acted as if she was this huge criminal, and they belittled her.
I'm sorry to hear that.
They put the wrong in max holding. And then when she goes to see the judge in Washington, they have some hooker's documents and said it's probable cause is the wrong one, but we're going to go ahead with this.
Right.
That's on record.
Well, yeah. Hey, listen. I'm sorry to hear that, but that video, I'll probably go to bed dreaming about that payback. That's ultimate payback right there. For real.
Right. She's got it in her hands. There's a lot Carter was doing. He had dad's pot, he had dad's money, he had dad's alcohol, credit cards, and he's just going to town. And dad's nowhere to be found.
Wow.
Vape pens with pot. I mean, and he's talking about how he's selling this stuff at school.
What?
Videos of him smoking pot. He made a homemade water bong out of soda bottles and a water, like a gallon water jug.
Listen, you've been too nice. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, you got to pay dirt of love. Listen, like I said, I'm loading everything up to YouTube with a release day of March 1st. And I'm gonna say, I'm sending everybody the link. Hey, yeah, you was the one that said I was a bad person. Well, here's what you did when I tried to tell you about this, but everybody gonna know, and then you'll answer to the court code of ethics. You'll answer to a lot of people. That's what it gets down to. That's it. That's all.
Did you send that link to the judge?
Of course.
Yes.
Listen, I filed a motion. I have a female that lived in Washington. She lived from Washington. Well, she lived in Indiana, but her case was in Washington. And she went in front of a hearing officer, and the hearing officer said something real dumb. And we filed the motion that we don't want to go in front of that hearing officer again because that hearing officer is an idiot with the intellect of a brick. I want to be clear. The link above, you can fast forward to marker 4 minutes and 34 seconds, whatever. Now, this is why we say that this hearing officer got the intellect of a brick. Remember, the link is above, marker 4 minutes, 34 seconds. I said it like 6 or 7 times in the motion I drafted up for, and every time I said it, I said, now remember, Do you know what happened when she went to court? When she went to court, there was another hearing officer there. And you know what the hearing officer said to her? She said, Miss Allen, before I ask you a question, I was told that you are no one to play with.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Very good.
She said, Miss Allen, before I ask you a question, I was already told that you are no one to play with.
Very good. I say that we do that, Ricky, with the judge, with the videos you have.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
You tried it their way. You tried it their way.
Their way for 2 years.
Right.
And the children are suffering. I mean, you can see that Carter it's going to be a hard road to reverse.
It sure is.
Hard road.
I had a talk with him last night. He called me at 10:30 at night, begging me to help him do his homework.
He's missed like 50 days of school.
What?
He's
Nah.
got, like, last trimester, he had, like, 80-some assignments that were missing.
What?
And all of a sudden, his dad sends him to mine on my weekend with his school laptop. It says he needs to do his homework. Fuck you.
Wow.
I don't fucking think so. I get my kids every other fucking weekend. It's up to you to make sure that he doesn't have those fucking 80.
Right, a backlog of schoolwork.
Yeah.
He's at a
Right on a first grade level.
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's a terrible thing that's going on. But we're gonna, you know what? I just needed your conversation. I needed your brain. I needed your wisdom, and I needed to know we're not alone.
Hey, no, not at all. Not at all. And I always tell people that listen, I always tell people when you fighting, just have some fun. It's fun to me.
It is for me, but not to everybody.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm happy about it, and it makes me feel very. But I don't. I want to say this. They don't intimidate me.
How about that?
And I've been up against the big bears,
Right.
and I know what they're capable of.
How about that?
You don't stand up. What are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing this for? Why are we all here?
Right. That's
Because
right.
we didn't stand up.
Yep.
And now they think they have a way and a will, which they have. But you start to stand for yourself a little bit. It's just like you said, they're going to lose their careers over this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and I believe that.
Right.
The prosecutor on my federal case got fired.
Really?
She's done. They had to bring a new prosecutor in from another county.
Wow.
So it is, but for me on this family side of stuff, there's just no true law or constitution used. They don't care. And they just violate. And I'm trying so hard because it is what you said. One person. And they look at that like they are powerful and you're powerless.
Right. So that's what, you know, I would just even if I have to create a company, I've incorporated a business, I'm moving forward under company names. It's gonna hit a little different.
Okay.
All right.
I'm really glad that I needed to hear that because I needed that information. That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's powerful.
Right. How about that? So.
Can you help? So here's my question: when we go to deliver this video to the judge, usually I can write letters, but I don't want to misconstrue that.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to call you for that if that's doable, and I'll pay you, of course. But
Yeah. Hey, listen, no problem. It'll be my pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait until Ricky's ready, and we'll get it going. I'm gonna give her time to do that while we're waiting for this judge to respond.
Okay. All right.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah, we're here.
It'll incorporate this business, this group of other people. And
There you go. How about that? There you go.
Get that moving.
Yeah, good stuff. Good
So
stuff.
So grateful for him.
Right. Thank you so much. I'm glad you reached out to me every time. I love. Listen, I just want the good guys to win, and women.
Yeah.
I just want us to win. I'm not interested in nothing else. I just want to win. And unfortunately, the victory takes many little wars, but it's coming. Don't worry about that. I bet you I can tell you that.
I agree.
Yes, but I'm definitely here when you need me. Okay.
All right. So, and I'll just next time I pay you. How do I reach you then? because I text.
Did you text and nothing happened?
I text the number that was on your one of your shows.
Yeah, this is the number here. All right, so send me just send a dot. Send a dot or something right now and see if it comes through. I don't know why it didn't.
Is that on this number we're on now?
Yeah. It's an app, and Lydia and I both have the same app in our phones. So just send
It
a.
won't show me. It won't show me where you're. See, let my daughter do it. She's more phone friendly.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh, here we go. Okay,
You were messaging him.
I was messaging you before.
Okay, it just came through. A dot just came through.
Well, I lost this phone number. I was texting the number you. Well, this is the number.
Yeah. So.
How weird is that?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't.
I'll save this number. Let me put your information in.
No, just touch it. Info, and then you create.
Okay. I'm putting your number in, or your name. Sorry.
No, you're all right.
Oops. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll check this next time,
Yeah.
and I'll let you know, and we'll just go on from there.
Sounds good.
I appreciate you, Darren.
Not a problem.
Have a blessed rest of your week.
Hey.
We'll talk soon.
Okay. All right. You too.
Take care.
Yep. You too. Bye. All right. So, I always love talking to people that are advocates, individuals that are ready to put foots up an ass. And that's what it gets down to. You need us, 732-875-9111. Deuces.